Welcome to Tennessee's At Home Learning Series for Math. Today's lesson is for all of our first graders out there, but of course, anyone is more than welcome to tune in. This lesson is the 14th lesson in our series. I'm Miss Sarah, and I'm a first grade teacher at Baxter Primary School in the Putnam County School System. I'm so excited that I get to be your teacher again today for math. Welcome to our virtual classroom. If you didn't see our previous lessons, you can find them on the Tennessee Department of Education's website at www.tn.gov/education. You're more than welcome to tune in to today's lesson, even if you haven't seen those, but you might have a little bit more fun if you go back and watch our previous lessons first, because we're going to be using what we learned in those lessons to help us with this new learning today. Today, we will be learning about how to count and write numbers. Before we get started, to participate fully in today's lesson, you are going to need paper, pencil, and the student packet for math, grade 1, lesson 14, which you can find on that website, www.tn.gov/education. To get ready for our lesson today, I want you to go ahead and get your workspace ready. I already have my paper and my pencil laid out on my writing surface, my table. I want you to lay out your paper and your pencil as well. For our first task, let's get our brains thinking about counting and writing numbers. I have some Legos that I need help counting. Notice that my Legos are arranged in one row of 10. My second row must have less than 10 though, because I can see that I don't have as many in my second row as I do in my first. Count along with me as I count how many objects are in my second row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What do you think is the best way to count all of my Legos? Well, I know that there are 10 Legos in that first row. So can I count by tens? You're right. Both rows don't show 10. The second row has less than 10. I know! I can count on from 10 by ones, just like we've practiced before. Can you count with me? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Great job counting with me. Let's write the numbers that represent our counting strategy. First, we counted a row of 10. So I will write the number 10 at the end of my row to show that that row has a total of 10. Next, we counted the bottom row by 1. So I'm going to write my numbers as I count, and I'm going to put one number under each Lego to show what number I counted when I counted that Lego. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Thank you for helping me count the total number of Legos. We counted a total of 19 Legos together by using our counting by tens and counting by ones strategies. We also went ahead and wrote our numbers to show the total number of objects that we counted. Give yourself a round of applause. Great job. Now we're going to look at our first problem together. Look at this group of stars. How are the stars arranged? That's right, we have rows of stars and we have columns of stars. What do you notice about the rows? Yes, there are 10 stars in these first three rows and only one star in the bottom row. What do you think is the best way to count our stars? Excellent idea. Let's use our count by tens and ones strategy that we've learned and see how many we have. I will count and write the number of stars in each row of 10. Will you count the first row with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I will write the number 10 at the end of row 1. Now, I know that row 2 and 3 must also have 10 stars because they have the same amount as that first row that we just counted with the number 10 and with 10 stars in them. So I'm going to write the number 10 at the end of row 2 and 3. Can I write the number 10 at the end of row 4? No, that last row that we have to count does not have 10 stars in it, so we cannot write the number 10 at the end of that row. Let's count that row to see how many there are, even though I think you already know. 1. That's right, there's 1 star in that last row. I'm going to write the number 1 at the end of that last row. Great job counting. Now I need to count how many stars I have all together. I need to find that total number of stars. What do you think is the best way to count how many stars I have in all? Did I hear someone say count by tens? I love that idea. Count with me. 10, 20, 30. But can I count the last row by 10? No, I can't. I will have to count by ones because there's only 1 star left in that last row. So we are going to count on from 30. 30, 31. We did it. There are 31 stars in all. So I'm going to write the number 31 in my blank, and it says 31 stars in all. You did an excellent job counting on with tens and ones. I want you to give yourself a pat on the back. And if you're new around here, we do that because we are so smart. Now we're going to look at two students and we're going to observe how they count a group of oranges. So we have two students, Lucy and Kevin, and they both have groups of oranges and they've counted them differently. How did Lucy count her oranges? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cover up Kevin so that we're only looking at Lucy's. How did she count her oranges? You think she counted by tens? How do you know? That's right. She circled two groups of 10 and labeled them. How did Lucy continue to count that last row? Yes, Lucy counted on from 20. 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So Lucy says that there are 25 oranges in all. Now we're going to look at Kevin's work. How did Kevin count the group of oranges? I want you to clap your hands once if Kevin counted by ones. I want you to stomp your feet if Kevin counted by fives. How do you know? That's right. We know that Kevin counted by ones because he wrote each number by ones out to the side of the row of oranges. So Kevin used the counting by one strategy to count 25 oranges. Now I want you to look at the way that both friends counted their oranges. What do you notice about Lucy's strategy in her answer and Kevin's answer? Right. They both got the same answer. So that is what is the same about their work. But what's different about Lucy and Kevin's work? Right. Lucy and Kevin used different counting strategies. Lucy counted by tens and then counted on by ones, and Kevin counted all of his by ones. Which strategy do you think is the fastest or the most efficient? I agree. I think that Lucy's strategy is the most efficient, which means that it is the fastest strategy. I want you to pat your head if you think that you would solve the problem like Lucy. And I want you to rub your belly if you would solve the problem like Kevin. Excellent. Either strategy is fine, but Lucy's strategy is the most efficient. But they both got the same answer. Great work. Now let's look at a group of beach balls. How are the beach balls arranged? That's right. They are arranged in rows and columns. What do you notice about the rows? Yes, there are 10 beach balls in these first 4 rows, but there aren't 10 in the bottom row. What do you think is the best way to count our beach balls? Great idea. Let's use our counting by tens and ones strategies to help us count these beach balls. I will count and write the number of beach balls in each row of 10. I want you to count the first row with me to make sure that there are 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I think I got off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's hard to look away when you're counting. There are 10 beach balls in that first row. So I'm going to write the number 10 out to the side to show that there are 10 beach balls in that row. Now I know that rows 2, 3, and 4 must also have 10 beach balls because 2, 3, and 4 all have the same number of balls in them. So I'm going to write the number 10 at the end of row 2, row 3, and row 4. I have one more row to count. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I wrote the number 6. I wrote the numbers that I counted as I counted them, and I'm going to add the number 6 at the end of my row to show how many we actually had in that last row. You did an excellent job counting. Now I want to count the total number of beach balls. What do you think is the most efficient way to count the total number of beach balls? Did I hear you say count by tens and then count by ones? I agree. Me too. Count with me. 10, 20, 30, 40. We can count the last row by tens. So if we know that there are 6 beach balls in that last row, we can count by ones. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. We did it! There are 46 beach balls in all. So I'm going to write there are 46 beach balls. Excellent job. For our next task, I would like for you to get your paper and your pencil ready. I have my piece of paper here and I have my writing utensil in my hand. I want you to look at our next task card. There are 10 red counters in the first row. I want you to count with me to show that there are 10 red counters in row 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. On my piece of paper, I'm going to draw 10 circles to represent or to show the 10 red counters in row 1. I want you to draw your 10 circles as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I want you to look at row 2. How many circles do you think we should draw for row 2? Yes, we should draw 10 circles again for row 2. We will draw those together. So draw yours as I draw mine. I'm going to make sure that each circle I draw for row 2 goes directly underneath another one of my circles that I drew in row 1. That way it's nice and neat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great job. Now look at row 3. Does it have 10 counters? No. Let's count to see how many red counters are in row 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 red counters in row 3. I will draw 6 circles to represent the 6 red counters in row 3. You draw along with me. I'm going to make sure again that my circles line up underneath the ones above them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We know that row 1 and 2 has 10 red counters in them. So I'm going to go ahead and put the number 10 at the end of each row. And I want you to do the same. 10, 10. I labeled row 1 and row 2 with the number 10 to show that there are 10 counters in those rows. Did you label your first row 10? Great. Did you label your second row 10? Excellent. Now we have one row left. Were there 10 counters in that last row? No. How many counters are in that last row? Right, we counted 6 earlier. So I'm going to label that row with the number 6. You did an excellent job counting and labeling your model. Now all we have to do is count to see how many red counters there are in all. What do you think is the best way to count how many there are in all? We can count by tens and ones. Here we go. 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. We did it. There are 26 red counters in all. I want you to look at the very last task card. This is where you have a chance to do it by yourself before we check it. I want you to do it on your own. So in the last one, we drew our circles for it. I want you to do the same for this one. And then label your rows and find out how many you have all together. While you're doing yours, I'm going to work it out on a piece of paper, and then we'll show each other our papers to see if they match. Let's do it. Okay. I want you to show me your work, and I'm going to show you mine. They match. Excellent. I had 10 counters in the first row and 4 in the next. So I labeled the first row 10 and the second row 4. And when I counted, I started at 10, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And there are 14 red counters all together. You did an excellent job. Today we reviewed how to count a group of objects by ones and by tens and write the number of objects represented. You did an amazing job again today. After the video, you're going to have some tasks to practice on your own, just like we did today. I'm going to show you that independent practice now, and then you can access it on the website at www.tn.gov/education. Good luck and do your best. And to get you started, I'm going to read those tasks out loud to you so that you can solve them on your own after the show. You will count and label the models to find the number of objects. So number 1, you have some balls here, and you are going to figure out how many there are. You will label the rows and then count by tens and ones to find your answer. They did that for you, but they didn't label the first part. So go ahead and do that and see if you come up with the same answer. Number 2. They have some rabbits here, or some bunnies here. You will label the rows and then count by tens and ones to find out how many bunnies you have all together. Number 3, it's hard to tell on the screen, but these are socks. They have them arranged in rows and columns. You're going to tell how many are in each row, and then use your counting by tens and ones strategy to find how many socks there are in all. And then you're going to do the same to find the number of bananas. Label your rows and then count by tens and ones to see how many bananas you have in all. I enjoyed learning how to count a group of objects by ones and by tens with you today. I also enjoyed learning how to write those objects and label those rows as we counted. Thank you again for inviting me into your home. I look forward to seeing you in our next lesson in Tennessee's At Home Learning Series. Bye, everyone.
We know this year didn't go according to plan. Life occasionally springs a pop quiz on you, but you passed the test. Your family is proud of you, and Tennessee is proud of you. This year may have been different, but you met the moment and graduated. And we, at the Tennessee Department of Education, want to spend the next few weeks celebrating your accomplishment. Congratulations, class of 2020.